So the crypto market is crazy and it makes a bunch of billionaires and a bunch of millionaires. One of the people who's been doing this the best is, of course, Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy. He basically, we've done videos on this. No one likes to click on those videos. They're at least watch videos. But he raises debt. He dilutes his stock of his company. He uses those funds to buy more Bitcoin and increase the amount of Bitcoins per share, basically having an infinite money glitch. And you can see this is his stock price right here over the last 6 months, going from $300 all the way up at the peak here at $1,900 for a publicly traded company inside the S&P 500 now. Obviously, the rise of this is just like a leverage on top of Bitcoin. And if you believe the thesis that Bitcoin is going to go up forever, as Michael Saylor does, as it has historically, and as I personally believe, if you don't personally believe that, I've got a few videos on that. Go have a look at my other Bitcoin videos on why it's most likely to happen. Well, then you realize that there's going to be other companies that are going to be riding this trend. I saw a podcast today on My First Million, and Sean was talking about one graph businesses. And basically, the price of Bitcoin goes up forever. There's going to be hundreds, then thousands, then tens of thousands, then millions of businesses and individuals who are going to ride that Bitcoin graph up to absolute freedom and becoming the giants of the business world. Nalam Resources. This is a mining company in South America. There's a bit of fishy stuff going on, so we're investigating here. They filed letters of intent to acquire 24, almost 25,000 Bitcoin, valued at $1.7 billion. And they're going to do this by acquiring a special purpose entity or business that holds 25,000 Bitcoin. They're not going to go over the counter and buy them from Coinbase, but they're going to acquire a company who has that in their treasury, which is fine. And this has had some very interesting results. Initially, the day after, I believe they announced it on the weekend, Nalam Resources' stock soared 1,900% in one day, which is absolutely insane. You saw MicroStrategy stock only go up 600% in 6 months, and they hold an insane amount of Bitcoin. Nalam Resources, who had a much smaller market cap, they're more of a penny stock, had this absolutely skyrocket. And a lot of people are saying, well, that's interesting. Did you just announce that you're going to be acquiring a couple $1 billion of Bitcoin and not even have the money? And then on the news that your stock goes up until you're worth billions of dollars, and then you take those billions of dollars and then you buy the Bitcoin that you originally announced, and you're a wealthy multi-billion-dollar company. What an insane concept. And this was going to be the end of the story. Things started to look a little shady all of a sudden. So this was the CEO of Nalam Resources resigned, saying it's a classic pump and dump. And when I first read this, I thought he was actually referring to the Bitcoin price. I thought, okay, this guy's not educated on Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and how this is going to be the future, and he just wants no part of it. But as the story unfolded, it looks more and more like this CEO knew that there might have been some shady stuff going on. So Ron McIntyre was the CEO of Nalam, and he said that he has had his name removed from all corporate documents and resigned from CEO. Why? The reporter asked him. He says, just look at the chart. It's a classic pump and dump. I think referring to the Bitcoin chart, which is a bit confusing. He also said there will be a FINRA investigation into Nalam Resources, and obviously he wants nothing to do with this, which, once again, to me, I was like, this guy just doesn't understand Bitcoin. He doesn't want anything to do with it. But things took another turn, because have a look what happened the next day. This is it climbing 2,000% in a day, and then it absolutely crashed, going from 30 cents down 95% in a day. And it's still been going down. Just today, it is down another 40%, looking like what the CEO was talking about, some form of pump and dump, which is kind of crazy because the market cap of this entire company right now is $10.67 million. How the hell are they going to acquire $2 billion worth of Bitcoin? But apparently, they're saying it's going ahead. This is from Rowrider on Twitter. He said, here's a fun one. Nalam Resources, the sketchy pump and dump Shell Corp, claimed to acquire 25,000 Bitcoin by acquiring a third party business that owns that Bitcoin. Guess what entity reports holding close to that amount of Bitcoin? And guess what entity is the only one with a 24,800 Bitcoin transaction? It is Justin Sun, the CEO or the founder of Tron's company, who has been allegedly caught up in some nefarious stuff in the past. So they're doing some research thinking, are they trying to acquire Justin Sun's company? And where this currently sits, because it really is the blueprint at the moment of how to print infinite money. As you saw, that stock price absolutely soar up on the announcement of acquiring more Bitcoin. Individuals are personally trying to acquire more Bitcoin. You see the Bitcoin wallet number 30 recently being acquiring more and more Bitcoin, which is allegedly, once again, the word of the video, Jeff Bezos trying to buy as much as possible because he's had meetings with Michael Saylor. You see countries like El Salvador, who's even had meetings with the UAE, who are backing their countries with the one graph country of Bitcoin going up. I know El Salvador is in the hundreds of millions of dollars profit so far, and they continue to buy more and more Bitcoin. And of course, now you're getting the companies to do it, starting with MicroStrategy and then potentially Nilam Resources, although it is shady. This is the last that we've heard from him. This is from Cass Pianci on Twitter. Nilam Resources announced the appointment of a new CEO today. Okay, so they're not totally folding. And they have stated that Zyberdata has the 24,800 Bitcoin that they are in talks to acquire. We're going to see. This could be an insane turnaround for a company that currently has a $10 million market cap, could skyrocket back into the billions. Or this could be sort of like a red herring of a company that could have done really well, but there's some shady stuff going on behind the scenes. All I know personally is there's going to be more and more companies buying into Bitcoin. It's a scarce amount of Bitcoin. You get the halving coming. I'm personally trying to get as much Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as possible. And if you are as well, you're going to like this channel. Hit that subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video.